Hi guys, welcome to this off-pattern video where I share a bit of my yarny life, ramblings, anything I have like on my mind, yarn-wise, knitting, crochet-wise. That's not like directly related to anything I'm doing in the business, but just like the hobbies side of life. So today I want to talk to you about dyeing yarn with avocados. So I bought this and turned it into this with just a few avocados in my kitchen. And I thought that was like super cool and wanted to share. So my goal here with this project was I bought a set of like a advent calendar. I don't know if you've seen those around, but like a lot of hand dyed yarn dyers make them, and you buy a calendar, and then for 24 days you get like all mini skeins. So like 10 or 20 grams, I don't remember. Tiny little adorable skeins of hand dyed yarn in like a variety of color, and it makes for a beautiful palette. And I wanted to make an advent sweater. So my idea that I have in mind, I bought this calendar in 2021. We're now July 2025. Still have the same idea in mind. I still haven't done it, but I will get there eventually. So my plan is to make a circular yoke knit sweater with stripes that has a background of yarn that is like nearly white, but very, very light pink. And then the stripes would be like in the rainbow shade. Not rainbow, but like in the gradient shade of the palette. But for that, I need the background yarn. And I've struggled finding the color I wanted online. So I thought, why not try to make it myself? So I got this like blank yarn. This is like blank white yarn that hasn't been dyed. That is like made to be dyed. Well, you can use it just as is, but you can dye it very easily. So I got that, and that is a beautiful off-white, but it's a bit too bold and strong with the hand-dyed yarn, like mini skeins I have. So I wanted a shade of pink. So I used my favorite and only, because I've ever only tried dyeing yarn with avocados, avocado dyeing technique, and came up with this. So this is what I made this weekend. I used, so how it works is you take your avocados, you eat them, and then you take the pits and the peels, you wash them off so you don't have like the squishy, ugly, crappy leftovers in your yarn. And then you're going to throw those pits and peels into into a big pot and get them to boil. You can vary the length of time it boils and the number of pits and peels to get like different shades and colors. And then when you decide you have a good dye color, you turn it off, you take out the pits and peels. And when you're ready to dye, you take your blank yarn, you soak it in water, and then you put it in the pot of dye and you turn the heat back on and let it simmer. Don't make it boil. Move it around a little bit so that the color goes everywhere. When you're happy with the color, or you think you're going to be happy with the color, because it changes when you soak it, you rinse it, and you dry it, it's going to lighten up. So then you take it out, you let it dry, you let it cool off, sorry, you rinse it, you let it dry, and then you have yarn. So that's the process I followed for this. Now you can see that mine is very not uniform. I wanted a very, very light shade of pink, blush, pinky rose. So my goal here was to get, actually, let me show you exactly what shade I wanted. I wanted this part that looks like it's not dyed yet. But when you compare it with the actual like undyed yarn, you can see that it's more pinky. That's the color I was going for. Now, unfortunately, my dye pot was apparently too much pigments in it. So I saw that my yarn was turning way more pink than I wanted very, very fast. So I only dyed it for a few seconds. So I threw my skeins in and back out like instantly. So that means it's not like super regular, but I don't mind because I like a variegated. So it's like there's parts that are a bit pinker, parts that are whiter. And when you knit it up or you crochet it up, it makes like, irregular effects that I kind of like. And that's also what's in my mini skeins for my hand dyed yarn. So that's going to come out good as like a combination. The problem with the white was that it was too strong as like one color block, and the other one is like a little bit variegated, or like heathered, or however you want to call it. Anyway, that's the plan. Now I made 5 skeins. So I bought a pack of 10. So I dyed half of it. I wanted to be sure that I would have enough to make the whole sweater. I probably only need 4 and maybe 3, but 5 I'm sure I have enough. I want it to be like boxy and cozy and comfy, like all my items. So I wanted to make sure I had enough. I'm pretty happy that they all turned out very similar. So at least they're like uniform between themselves. So there's not one that's like dark pink and one that's like super light pink. They're all are pretty mixed up. I am going to have to alternate skeins. So when you work with hand dyed yarn, you use 2 strands of different skeins, and you do 1 row with one yarn, like one thread, 1 row with the other thread, 1 row with the first thread, so that you don't have any like color blocks, but you have like more of a uniform, mixed, variegated look throughout your fabric. So that's like definitely a must with like self-dyed yarn. But now I have to decide if this is too dark or if this is gonna work for my project. And I haven't decided yet. That's the color I wanted. Should I try again and get the color I wanted, or should I call this pretty and go for it? It's pretty either way, like I love it. So I can make, that's why I'm also happy I made 5 skeins. So I can make a full sweater with just that and then use the 5 other skeins and try again and get another color. I don't know yet. I will see. But that's my yarny avocado dyeing rambling for you today. Have a great day.